Sir Ken Robinson highlighted 3 separate principles in his speech: embracing the differences of your students, encouraging curiosity in your students, and encouraging creativity. I would argue that all 3 of those can actually be done using digital communication tools. It gives a voice to the student who may be quiet. It also gives them the ability to be able to show what kinds of things they're curious about, as well as their creativity. So the first question we're going to ask is, what is electronic communication in the classroom? And the reason why we're starting with the question and not with a bunch of resources is because it's really important, I think, to best understand why it is that you want to use digital communication tools in your classroom. You can use them several different ways, from digital submissions to feedback to online digital tools to collaborate and communicate. However, the big question is not about how to use it in the classroom, but once again, why is it that you want to use it in the classroom? What kind of options is it going to give you that you wouldn't have had otherwise? So why go digital? And maybe the answer isn't to go digital. Maybe the answer is to use face-to-face. A lot of it depends on the student, a lot of it depends on the topic, a lot of it depends on your preferences. So never use technology just for the sake of using technology, but use technology to enhance what it is that you're doing in the classroom, to give students an opportunity that they may not have had otherwise. Educational technologist Kevin Honeycutt states, educators need to be in the digital space to know what our kids are doing so we can help them navigate their world. And that's maybe one of the reasons why you want to start with digital tools. Maybe it has nothing to do with what opportunities it can give you in the classroom, but maybe it's more of a lesson on digital citizenship. And that's an important lesson for students these days to learn, that they have a digital footprint and it's going to follow them. And that they need to be aware of the world around them and aware of how they present themselves online as well. The second question we're looking at is, what forms of electronic communication are available? There are lots of different forms of communication available, and they fall into basically 3 categories. One is messaging, with the idea of giving you a platform in which you can send messages out and receive messages from parents, students, other colleagues. One is collaboration, being able to work on the same project at the same time or different times. And the last one is input, collecting information or collecting data. We're going to look at resources for all 3 of these. What you're going to do is you're going to watch a series of videos that deal with messaging, collaboration, and input. And after watching all of these videos, you're going to answer a response. So let me highlight some of these. The first one is Remind, and this is a personal favorite of mine. It's a wonderful messaging service. It's free to educators. It's a great way to get your message out. It's also a safe way to get your message out because it does record all of the interactions as well. All right, and this one's used just for messaging. You can schedule trips, you can get information about who's going to be going on what field trips, you can even collect fees, trip fees, those kinds of things through Remind as well. Class Dojo can be used as a messaging service as well. Its primary function is for behavior and to show students how they're doing behaviorally, both positive and negative. It also is a great way for parents to see how their kids are doing as well. As far as collaboration, there's going to be no video for Google Suite for Education. I just wanted to highlight this to let you know that there are multiple apps in the Google Suite for Education that allow you to collaborate. One of those being Google Docs, which is similar to Microsoft Word but allows multiple people to work on the same document at the same time or different times. The next is Padlet. You're not going to watch a video on Padlet because you're actually going to be a part of a Padlet at the very end of this session here, at the end of this Google form, where you're going to see what other educators have given input on, and then you're going to give your input as well. You're going to look at Debate Graph, Poplet, and Twidla as different sources that you can use for collaboration. You're also going to look at input from Poll Everywhere and Doodle. Of course, you can get input from Google Suite for Education as well. Specifically, Google Forms is probably the most effective way to get different pieces of input from people. Once again, the idea of this is not to expose you to every single form of electronic communication out there, but just a few of some of the best tools that are available to you beyond simply Google Apps for Education.